It's the evening of Thursday, December 21st here in Hanoi, and I'm just going to read some news from Twitter. Okay, I've just got a few summaries of stories that I just saw on Twitter, and I've got them in my hands here, just wrote down the headlines and stuff, and I'm just going to rap at you a little bit like Eminem. And I'm not going to cite where I saw this because I keep seeing it posted on different discussion boards that I'm on. But I guess he's still really hurt about Donald Trump. And Trump has just been not even throwing shade, but not throwing shade, like not even acknowledging it. Poor Eminem's Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady. He has a lot of white regretty, as they say. So I wish him the best, and I hope he doesn't end up like Stan. Tea's gone cold. I wonder why I got out of bed at all. So let's have a look at what's going on in Twitter. Okay, first of all, according to Fox and Friends, and this is a follow-up to my last video, Al Franken is going to leave on January 2nd. So we have that to look forward to in the new year. So more winning will continue on into 2018. We are quite confident of that. Second, and this is just breaking news today. I just sat down and saw this. According to the BBC, a car hit a number of pedestrians, about 16, critically, in Melbourne, Australia. And no fatalities have been reported yet, thankfully. They have captured 2 individuals responsible. And according to Imam Tawhidi, the reformer imam in Australia, whom everyone should follow because he's one of the few that's out there actually doing it at the risk of his own life. He has confirmed, first on Twitter and then on his Facebook page, that these were radicalized individuals, which is interesting because BBC and other sources, as they have typically done, have hidden this fact. They don't want to expose him as a Muslim for fear of retaliation, which is just how it goes in the media these days. But that's still developing. Hopefully everyone makes it through okay. And, this is another wake-up call. I mean, you look at, I'm not sure what they call those, but they have all kinds of ironic names and graffiti for the different blocks in Germany and elsewhere. And there are now rallies against Islam and stuff like that is taking shape. So if it's not handled correctly, it could develop into real violence and real prejudice and real hatred in the streets, and that's what we need to avoid. So we need to address these problems head on. And so definitely anyone listening, I want you to follow Imam Tawhidi because he is leading the reform in Islam worldwide, and he's located in Australia where this is all unfolding right now. Taking a look at Barack Obama, according to the Daily Wire, Israeli politician Yair Lapid, and he has some, I think it's a Hebrew name for some council or something that he does. I'm not sure what that is, so I won't even try to pronounce it. But a prominent Israeli politician says Obama must return his Nobel Peace Prize because of fallout from the Iran deal and how that supported Hezbollah and how it led to more violence. And I think that's interesting that someone has finally come out and said that. A politician has said, look, you don't deserve this prize. It's amazing that he got it, and that really made me cynical when it came to politics, and it threw me so far off the grid that I defined myself as an anarchist at one point because I was so maddened by all of this. But this Peace Prize recipient who actually made jokes about drones and his drone strikes, which killed children and blew up wedding parties and stuff like that. He was making jokes about that. Yeah, of course he doesn't deserve his Nobel Peace Prize. And when he got that, that sort of, it just made the whole award less meaningful to me. I guess there's still such a thing as scientific advancements and all that. And it is a good measure of genius, or at least it was at one point. Linguistics, whatever, technical fields. But peace is hard to find in this world, and you certainly shouldn't give it to someone whose actions fund groups like Hezbollah. Alright, I did this out of order, but jumping back to the Franken story, of course there's always more news to do with the sexual scandals that are going on in Hollywood and in Washington right now. According to the Hollywood Reporter, and there were some great photos of it, there's a bunch of Meryl Streep posters appearing in cities with the word "she knew" across her mouth, and her standing next to Harvey Weinstein, whom she called God at one point, I think. And this is the same virtue signaling actress who has been in everyone's face for all these years talking about ethics and morality, how people should be treated. And that's sad, you know, she's really a great actress, and Sophie's Choice is really a fantastic film. But Hollywood, from the outside, it appears to be like a weird little bubble. And that's one tourist site in the States that I've yet to see. I want to see that someday. She knew, yeah, she knew. Exploitation on every level, at least though Senator Franken is going to be gone. For a very covfefe, very MAGA New Year. For some good news, the tax reform has passed, and from what I know about it so far, it sounds pretty good. And Ben Shapiro was celebrating that in this Twitter fight he got in with Rosie O'Donnell, who we all know is not a fan of our POTUS. Rosie offered $2 million to Jeff Flake and to Susan Collins, senators, regarding the tax reform plan. She said, I'll give you this money if you just vote my way. And, of course, they didn't. And so there was question about whether it was facetious or whether it was real. But the fact is, many are saying that it was a felony. And Ben Shapiro pointed it out to her, and she replied with, "Suck my dick, Ben." And he just had the greatest comeback. #MeToo. Dropped the mic. It was over. But it's fun to see these matches play out in Twitter. But looking at the bill itself, from what I could find, it's really good for people. And I want to talk to my family in the States, people who are making money out there and paying taxes, paying American taxes. I want to know how it's going to benefit them. And anyone watching, I'm interested in how it's going to benefit you, because it looks like families making around 45 grand, like median low-income families, are going to pocket a lot more of that money. And I think that's pretty good. But of course, being a partisan issue, there is a lot of fighting. But there's much celebrating going on in Washington right now over getting this bill through. According to @Steve Goddard, Reagan won every state in 1984 except Minnesota after passing a massive tax cut. And so this could be a sign of his re-election if people truly reap the benefits from it and if it truly stimulates the economy. In fact, already 3 companies, Fifth Third Bancorp, AT&T, and Wells Fargo, have responded by saying they are going to give their employees added benefits. This is a way that naturally the minimum wage will increase. Hopefully it has this effect, because if people are pocketing more money, they can afford to pay their employees more, and more people can benefit from working and get off their asses and do more. Hopefully Trump goes after welfare next. The unemployment rate, Forbes.com, the unemployment rate is at a 17-year low, which is really amazing. More people are working. There are more incentives to work. People are getting paid more to work. And next, it's time to MAGA by going after the welfare state, by cutting those programs, by making people get up and and go out there and work and study and do things and contribute to the economy. And the more this happens, the more I feel like I want to go back. Once America is great again, you can't keep me away. I'm looking forward to that. And if things keep going like this, even after 1 year in, I'd like to be the first to congratulate Mr. Trump on his 2020 election victory.